when we were kicking around speakers for our event, a mentor of mine said, "Hey, what about Jake? You know, Jake Steinfield." I said, "The infomercial guy?" That was my first call to recollection, was infomercial. I said, "I don't know, infomercials, it's not really our thing." He goes, "No, look, have you read the book?" I said, "What book?" He said, "Get the book." I go home, I order Amazon overnight delivery because I don't like to wait. Get the thing the next day, I start reading the book. I read the first couple chapters. This is the guy. This is our guy. And then I get later in the book and I read about someone sharing with you about infomercials and said, "Jake, we got to do infomercials." You go, "Infomercials? How can I do infomercials?" And so I'd love for you to share kind of that story of people introducing that to you, and then your reaction and working through that and kind of where it's come full circle today.
That's great, Sean. And you're right. I mean, you know, so a lot of the perception, that's the infomercial guy. And, you know, you try. It's like anything else. You know, you need to evolve. I think everybody does, personally and in business. For me, you know, the personal training thing I loved. In 1988, I woke up one morning and I said, "This is the last day I'm doing it." Because if I stay one more day, I become a gym rat. You know, it afforded me great stuff. I love meeting the people, but I need to evolve. The same thing happened with the infomercials and home shopping. But how that all happened was someone said, "We should look at the infomercial business," to me, and you should look at, you know, we should look at doing that. I go, "Get out of here. Infomercials? That's the dude who wears a colorful sweater." At the time, it was 1989, right?
Yeah.
You know, those invention guys.
Sure.
I said, "That's not what I'm doing. Do you know who I am? I'm hanging around with the big stars, and, you know, I'm not going to do an infomercial." And then I started thinking about it, saying, "But wait a second. If I can create my own messaging and be who I am and look in the camera, and I love fitness, right? I love what it does, and find a product that really does work, tell a story, that could be kind of fun and kind of interesting if I'm in control." Right? I always tell people this: I don't ever mind failing, Sean, unless I'm the guy, you know, as long as I'm the guy driving the car off the cliff. I don't want to be sitting next to you taking me off the cliff, though. You know, if I'm going to fail, I want to do it on my own.
Yeah.
And it, good, better, and different, I sleep better at night that way.
Sure.
I'm on cable news network, right? Ted Turner gave me my start doing the fitness break, right, which is a very funny story. And now everyone's saying, "Oh, you're on cable? What is cable, man? It means you can't be on broadcast television, Jake." Now look at today, cable and broadcast, right? Then the infomercials, or let's just talk about home shopping. I did 18 years. I served my time on home shop. I said I did 18 years. You know, I did a year.
It's like a sentence, right? That's a whole.
It was a good sentence, but when it was over, which I like. It's always great too. It's nice when you're able to leave the room as opposed to being asked to leave the room. Yep. You know, it's always good to leave when you're at the top of the game, and that's important too. But when I was doing the home shopping stuff, everybody gave me all kinds of crap about it. Now I get calls every day from every agent, WME, ICM, CAA. "Hey, you got a product for my guy? You got a product for this actor or this actress?" Everybody wants to do home shopping and infomercials.
Yeah.
I couldn't, I mean, Harrison Ford's a guy who is one of my dear friends. Our sons are good buddies, which is kind of funny after all these years.
Yeah.
He used to give me such, "I can't turn on television, not see your stupid mug, Jake," you know? Now, everybody wants to be in the infomercial business, you know? It just, look, everyone has their medium, everyone has their passion, and everyone has what they do well at. I mean, I had no idea that I was going to be able to sell fitness product on television. I didn't lie in bed one night going, "This is my dream, man." You know, it happened, and it was great, and it worked out. And now, I've taken myself off of that. So, as I mentioned about the personal training stuff, in '88, I woke up and said, I need to evolve.
Talk about that day. Did it hit you all at once, or did you know it was coming?
No, it was coming, but it was a day. It was a moment. It really was. I got up, and by the way, and I'm driving now. You know, I go to everyone's homes. It's L.A., so I'm driving to Hollywood at 4 a.m. in the morning, and then I'm going to Malibu, and I'm going to the studios, and I'm putting on thousands of miles on my car. Not that I didn't love it.
Sure.
But during that time, I was doing videos now, and I'm starting to feel good about what I'm doing and where I'm going, and more people are getting into the space. And I said, you know what? This is about time. It's over. You know, I'm at the top of the game, right? I'm leaving right now. Because if I stay, there's nowhere to go but down, right? You know, you're the champion this year, right? Bang, I'm going out on top.
Yeah.
And I wanted to evolve. I wanted to basically evolve into the next phase of what my life is going to be. I like the acting stuff. I like the television stuff. I was getting a knack for it, you know? So I said, okay, let's figure out the next step. So I had this idea to create a television sitcom, which I did on the Family Channel called Big Brother Jake. You know, I don't do far of a stretch. I played a guy from Brooklyn called Jake, you know?
Yeah, did you study a lot for that role? I know.
I had to study hard, and it was great for me. The fitness show was terrific, and I learned. But you got to continue to evolve. Then the home shopping stuff happened, and I remember look, 5 years ago, the same thing happened. I was down there. I used to go once a month. It was very profitable, and I said, I finished the show on a Monday night, and I said to Craig, who works here, I said, buddy boy, take your last looks. He goes, yeah, right, we're back next month. I go, we're done. And I just knew. I said, it's not that I didn't love going down there. The dough was incredible. It just was time for that next phase of my life of what I wanted to do, right? And still, when you say, oh, Body by Jake, the infomercial guy, I spent a lot of years, you know, that it was time for me to get behind the camera. I've gotten involved politically, which is not really political. It's with kids, right? And my passion are children. I have 4 kids of my own.
Yep.
This childhood obesity thing is an epidemic. And what I've been doing for years is very quietly putting fitness centers in inner city elementary and middle schools around the country. I've been the chair of the Fitness Council in California for 7 years, 6 years under Ronald and a year under Jerry Brown. And now I'm the chair of the National Foundation for Governors Fitness Councils. I'm a big believer in working with the public and private sector. I got Coca-Cola to step up, give a big tranche of dough to put fitness centers in schools across the country. We're doing it state by state, getting to meet governors. My pitch is, this is not a Democrat or Republican issue, it's a kids issue. So once again, evolving. We're still heavily into the DR space, direct response, except I do the voiceover, I direct the spots now, but we have guys like Randy Couture or Mario Lopez, and talent like that who now become spokespeople for my company.
Yeah.
And it's a fun thing for me to do.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just fun to continue to evolve, to try to expand who you are. So, like I said, some things work, some things don't work.
Yeah.
But it makes it really enjoyable, and it keeps you fresh.
Yeah.